Hello everyone. Today we're at Southwest Aquatics in Central California, and today is going to mark the first episode of our aquatic plant discussions. I have a very special guest for you to meet. His name is Jim Purcell, and he's been running this facility, and since 1980 he's been providing aquatic plants to our industry. He is a wealth of knowledge. He was the president of the International Water Garden Society not once, but twice. We have so much to learn from him. We're on about 10 acres of property with 3 acres of aquatic plants, so there's so much to cover, and we're gonna pick his brain and learn as much as possible. Come on in, and I'll introduce you to Jim. Jim.
Hi, Eric.
It smells amazing in here.
It is amazing.
It is amazing.
Fantastic, all spring and summer.
35 years commercially doing aquatic plants.
Wow, that's a long time,
How did it all begin?
It began in a pet store.
Pet store.
The first pet store I ever owned. I grew aquatic plants and sold them and
For ponds, right?
for ponds. And pretty soon I got to be growing too many, and so I started wholesaling them.
Because in the 80s, that's kind of where it all began.
Yep, that is where it all began. Absolutely.
How cool. Well, we have a lot to cover here. We have like 3 acres of plants,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, we do.
We have
It
a
is
lot
a lot.
of greenhouses to cover today.
Yeah.
Think we can do it in one day?
No, I think you're going to need to come back.
I
But
think
you'll
so,
also
too.
need to come up to our Oregon branch. My partner, Frena Lilies runs that one.
Okay.
She actually used to be plant production manager at Maryland Aquatics for 10 years before she came to me to be co-owner of Oregon Aquatics, and then we opened this branch here
And
together.
it's bigger than this?
It's way bigger than this.
How much time are we going to need up there?
A week.
A week, okay. Well, you know where I want to get started? I want to start right from the get-go on night blooming water lilies, tropicals, of course.
That sounds great. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right. So this is Maroon Beauty. It's what we would consider a red. It's a night blooming tropical.
She's a beauty.
She is a beauty, and she is open in the daytime, even though she's a night bloomer. That's a misconception that most people have, that they want a day bloomer because they get to see it in the daytime, when in fact they're usually at work when it's open.
Let's fix this misnomer right now.
Let's do it.
Let's talk about it.
Night blooming tropicals, they're open in the evening when you can enjoy them when you're sitting out there having a glass of wine or a beer.
Okay, well let's talk about evening, because what's
Okay.
evening to you, and what's evening? Evening means dark.
Evening is still light.
Okay.
It usually starts opening up before dark.
Is it 4 o'clock, 2 o'clock?
No, it's
5?
late. It's late in the day. So it's more like, an hour before dark, something like that.
Even in the summer, like if it's dark at 8, it's going to come out around 7?
Something like
Okay.
that. Start opening.
Let's just get clear on that. So
You're going to be
an
able
hour before sunset,
So you're
it
going
starts
to
to
be
open.
approximately.
Okay.
And it's going to vary a little bit from cultivar to cultivar. Some will open earlier, some will, open a little bit later, but they stay open all night. They look great
Smells great too.
when you uplight them with submerged lighting. They look great all night, and they'll stay open until 10 or 11 the next morning. So you actually, for most people who work for a living, they have an opportunity to enjoy it a lot more
Sure.
if it's a night bloomer than a day
In the
bloomer.
evening time when they get home, it's still light, and
Yep.
they're starting to open.
And
in the morning when
while
they're
they're having their morning coffee or whatever.
getting ready to go to work, and they're still
Yep.
open. Because the day bloomers, they don't open till what, 10, 11 maybe?
Yeah.
About the same time these guys
About
are
the same time these guys
closing
close.
up.
So it's very, very good to have these and day bloomers in the same pond. So you've got all your bases covered.
And very cool to probably see like one closing as the other one's opening at the same time,
Right.
That's cool. Crossover. So the leaf is, do they call it leaf red? I mean, it's kind of red, but it's more of a bronze.
Yeah,
really.
I would call this bronzy or reddish. And what you'll usually find is that the darker the flower, the darker the leaf color.
Oh.
And with a green with a green leaf, you'll have a white bloom, and you'll have an intermediate on a pink. And the darker it gets, usually the darker the leaf is. There's a couple exceptions to that, but as you can see, this is a nice bronzy reddish color. It's got very heavy veination on the back as opposed to a day bloomer. Here's a day bloomer leaf you can see.
Yeah, it's almost like it's folding in. This
And
one's-
it's much softer, much less rigid. And
So-
these have the serration on the edge, kind of like saw teeth.
Right.
So they're very distinct night blooming leaves.
So it would seem that these guys are more buoyant, right? Because they have, you think that occurred naturally, like they needed to have more strength underneath there? I mean,
Yeah, probably more water action.
Or bigger frogs that land on them. Right.
That could be too. Yeah, I would say that this is additional defense.
Yeah, because they're a little bit
the
sharp.
Little spikes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So probably a little bit for predation, but the stiffness in the veination is probably mostly due to heavier water action.
It's a super cool plant. So is it, this one probably doesn't occur naturally, right?
It does not occur naturally. For the most part, we only have cultivars here, just like you would have rose cultivars in your garden rather than the species, because we've developed hybrids that bloom more often, that have larger blooms, that have more intense colors, perhaps that are less temperamental.
Okay.
All reasons why you would not sell species roses as a nursery or own them as a homeowner.
Okay.
But you would have the cultivars. It's the same thing with water lilies.
So
Now this is Maroon Beauty. That was, I would say, an accidental hybridization in 1950 by Perry Slocum, and it came from a seedling of Harstick, which is another red, but needs more heat than Maroon Beauty does, and so this has become a much more popular plant.
let's talk about that. It needs more heat. I mean, we're in a greenhouse, right? Or
We are.
outside, we're not, but the plants are. So they want it more tropical. They call it a tropical lily. I mean, I'm in Southern California, so a lot of times this plant will come back for us.
Yes, it will generally be winter hardy and tropical. In Southern California, that's considered a fairly subtropical climate. Night bloomers are actually pretty hardy when it comes to winter hardiness, even though they like the heat to become active. The tubers will often remain viable, dormant over the winter in a colder climate than a day bloomer will. But they do like the heat to get started, so it's not likely that if you winter them over that they're going to come up early until the warm weather comes.
Okay.
Let me show you what size pot this is in, because this is actually a good sized lily for this size pot. This is an 8-inch wide by 5-inch deep pot.
Okay.
And it's what we call a lily gallon. And we grow them in a wide, shallow pot because that's what the plant's like. They don't need the depth. It's easier for them to oxygenate the soil if they're in a shallower pot. Wider pots don't tip as easily. But this is a good starter size pot. You can see all the roots that are coming out. It definitely wants to be moved up in a larger size pot now. Unfortunately, most people, when they take these home, they don't put them in a larger size pot. And that's like having a rhododendron or a palm tree in a 1-gallon pot and never moving it into a bigger size container in your yard.
Right. Well, a lot of times, here's the thought process. A lot of times they take that 1-gallon pot, they take it home, they stick it in the ground, so that there's no pot for them to even consider. Right. Sometimes they'll do a patio and they'll put plants in a pot, but they usually move them up. So in an aquatic plant, in a water lily,
They don't think about it.
yeah, a lot of times they're just like, let's put it in the water. It's going to be fine.
Or they do think about it and they say, oh, I'll do that later. And guess what? Once it gets in the pond, it stays in the pond.
Right.
It doesn't get fertilized. It doesn't get moved up. The best thing to do is buy a 16-inch diameter by 7-inch deep pot, something around that size.
16 by 7. That's the
Yep,
magic number.
16 by 7.
And we'll get a full plant.
Buy the potting media, buy the fertilizer, and you'll get a full-size plant. You will have basically constant bloom, and you'll have much larger blooms, and you'll have what you want.
Okay. All right. That's good advice. I'm going to make sure we press this home to our clients. Well, take me to another red.
Okay, we've got one right down here, red flare. It's the deepest red, and we should catch it before it closes.
All right.